Welcome everyone. Thank you all for coming. My name is Mike Kemsky. I teach 6th graders social studies at Shoe-Medill Middle School, and I'm the president of Christina Education Association. After the staff members at the priority schools were informed that they were targeted as priority schools by the Department of Education, I got a chance to meet with them, and one of the first things they were concerned about was that their commitment was challenged and questioned. And we figured, what are we going to do about that? So we came up with a plan to make some public comments at the board meeting on September 30th. And the result, I don't know if people were there, got a chance to see those comments on September 30th, but people came to me and said that was some of the most inspiring speeches and show of commitment by educators at any time. So we started with that, and since then we responded, or they responded for making the plans and the alternative MOUs that have been constructed in the time since then. And they also earned the highest marks from the University of Delaware's comprehensive review. So tonight, after having some conversations with members, we have a couple representatives from those schools to speak as to what's been going on in their schools. We have some other people to speak of supporting the teachers and educators in those buildings, and we'll have some time to take some of your questions. Catherine, could I ask you to come up and speak first?
Hello, Christiana, school board members, fellow teachers, and community stakeholders. I'm reading this speech on behalf of the Stubbs Elementary School. It was written by one of our kindergarten teachers, Christopher Fullerton. As a teacher at FD Stubbs Elementary School, I have been labeled a low-performing teacher because I chose 5 years ago to come to Wilmington to be a part of the solution to a problem affecting major cities throughout the U.S. The effects of rampant poverty and segregation in inner-city schools. These are problems that are not specific to Wilmington, but for some reason they are being looked at as if they were. The city of Wilmington is in a crisis, clearly. Recent national attention has highlighted this for all the world to see. Some of us come to the city every day to face that crisis head on. We continue to come to work despite our profession being under attack from the governor and Secretary Murphy, who say our efforts are not enough, who say we aren't dedicated to our profession or our students. They say this from afar while hiding behind the skewed DCAS data that allows them to pursue this hidden agenda for the marginalized inner city residents of Wilmington. The governor and Secretary of Education have constantly proclaimed that I and my fellow teachers are the problem. Our school is a low-performing school according to an out-of-date assessment that has been dropped because the data is skewed against the very students we serve. All other indicators as provided to the DOE, including the recent comprehensive review, indicate that we are in fact very hardworking and high-performing teachers and students. That data that shows us in a positive light is being ignored in order to push an agenda whose true purpose is still hidden. Individuals that question that data or ask for clarification are being dismissed from positions that might influence this still hidden agenda. What is the plan? So far, the priority schools announcement has caused nothing but confusion, distrust, and instability in the community. Perhaps that is the plan. For years, our students have been used to test pilot educational programs. These programs come and go with the standardized test, and when they are deemed inefficient, they are replaced. But the teachers and students are blamed for their lack of success, their lack of mastery of each and every new program that rolls out. Let's not forget the DOE will also spend thousands studying the lack of success of these programs, while blaming the teachers and students for the failures that skewed data shows. Perhaps that's the plan, to continue a cycle that wastes millions and does nothing to directly improve the lives and future of our students. Inner city Wilmington is not a strong voting community or strong economic community. Perhaps the governor and Secretary Murphy feel that sustained instability is a good thing. Perhaps that legalized segregation and rampant poverty that keeps our kids between a police station and a prison is the plan. We have been called uncooperative. When we attempted to cooperate, our attempts were refused. We have been called low performing, but only by those who are best served by marginalizing our efforts to justify their own hidden agenda. They are not low performing students. These are children in crises. Please don't take away their teachers. Please don't take their school principals, the traditional symbol of authority and stability in any community, away from these schools. These students are a priority to us. That's why we're there for them every day, despite being vilified in the press for those efforts. If these students were truly a priority to the governor and Secretary Murphy, they would fly to their aid with all the resources at their command. Instead, they have drastically cut funding, encouraged and created instability in the community, and blamed the teachers. For shame. There are literally hundreds of reasons, social, economic, generational, why these schools and students are deemed low performing. It seems we, the teachers and administrators of these schools, have been deemed responsible for all of them. There are hundreds of ways for the governor to improve Wilmington, its schools and the lives of its children. For some reason, stirring the pot and then sitting back to study what happens is the only avenue he will pursue. Consider, please, that their plan is the only one that won't cost them any real money. In fact, they're just cutting costs by letting experienced teachers go in favor of novice teachers. The students will be shifted around between the same 3 schools in each district. They won't alleviate any of the problems facing the schools. It will, however, give the governor and secretary 3 to 5 more years to continue this shameful cycle of waste and disparity. The time frame being about the length of a term of office. When they are gone, the problems will still be here, and they will have removed the teachers and administrators who are attempting every day to be part of the solution. Their plan calls for a state-appointed principal, effectively delivering control of the schools to the DOE and surpassing the Christiana School District. Its superintendent and all policies and procedures of the CSD. This will open the door to eliminate the CSD. The violation of teacher contracts will open the door for the dissolution of the teachers' union and in the end turn over all control to DOE. This will put an end to any bargaining strength the teachers would have. Checks and balances exist in constitutional law for a reason. We believe that we have created a model for inner city schools, a model that could turn around this national trend. We believe we have involved the community, stakeholders, interested parties, and anyone that will help to build a sustainable point of safety, consistently and properly deliver education to a city in crisis. Rather than tearing down the students, teachers, and schools, we are working to build them up. We have a plan in place. We have a system that is working. The governor and secretary have yet to release the details of their plan, if there is one. Stripping the infrastructure of cities for money and blaming the teachers, firemen, and police has been the national trend. If the teacher union falls, all unions lose their bargaining power. Be aware that precedent is being set for all of Delaware. Not just 6 schools and some teachers they've tried to tell you are separate. I'm not a low-performing teacher. I'm an educator and a citizen of Delaware deserving of the governor and Secretary Murphy's respect. I do not know what will come next for myself, my students, or my school because the governor and secretary won't release that information. I do not know that I will be in my classroom tomorrow morning to support and educate my students to the best of my ability, as I and my fellow teachers have always done.
I've been asked to speak a little bit about what it's been like to come to work this year. It's been frustrating. It's been every day. You come in and people say, is it hard to come to work? Is everybody talking about this? And it never goes away. But at 8 o'clock, the doors open and the kids show up, and then they're there. The kids are there, and the only option you have is to do what needs to be done. Children don't know how to read. They're hungry. They're not clean sometimes. They really, what we put out as city teachers for our students is vastly different. Not that it's better, not that that other teachers are not working just as hard as we are, but it is different. It's a different kind of work. I think Najma said it best. She said, teachers who don't want to teach in the city don't. And when I attended the city council meeting, I believe it was October 9th, and Secretary Murphy got up and started speaking about James. He spoke about a boy named James in a Bill Clinton-esque type of speech. And I thought to myself, he was about 2 sentences in, and I thought, oh, you don't know James. I said, I know James. I'm sitting here thinking, would you like to meet him? Because you and I don't know each other, Secretary, but I have James, and he's right there. You could come, you could meet him, hang out for 2 weeks. If you knew James the way I know James, this wouldn't be going on. This is not what it's about. If there's a federal mandate that is saying we have to do this, we need to find a better way to do it, because this has nothing to do with the kids. And it has very little to do with my ability to teach you how to read, write, multiply, and do everything that you need to do to get to 4th grade. I teach 3rd grade. I'm so proud of it. I returned to the field after raising my family 3 years ago and said, this is the work I want to do. I want to be with these kids. I walked into my principal, Mr. Ingram, and I said, this is the work that I want to do. And he said, that sounds good. We had a conversation. And I still maintain this is the work I want to do. It's so rewarding. My colleagues are standing out here. I'm looking at them, and we're still a team. It's been very difficult because you just don't know how any one person in the building is feeling on any one particular day. But the kids are still there, and that hasn't changed. So if you want to talk about our commitment, what we do, the laundry we wash, the extra food that we buy, and I've spoken to this before, and the time we take to make sure that we're doing the very best we can so that our kids can read, so they have a chance. The only thing that we want is for them to have a better chance than they have today. We want you to do better tomorrow than you did today. And that's being stripped from us in a way that just feels so, denigrating every day. It's always there. It's there when you go to bed at night. It's there when you get up in the morning. It's kind of there when the kids are in front of you, which is the saddest part, because sometimes you can't help but let your mind wander and think about, the magnitude of the situation that you're in. We're looking forward to having a resolution because we just need to get back to just being able to focus on the work. And we're losing time from the work because you can't stop your thoughts sometimes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Weeks, and I'm a 4th grade teacher at Bancroft. It's my 6th year at Bancroft, and it's been a wonderful experience. It gets better from year to year. Now, I have these letters. Curtis's mom is one of the people that wrote the letter, and why did she want you to come tonight, Curtis?
Because she might couldn't make it, but she's still supporting us. She might couldn't make it, but she's still supporting the school.
Okay, so she, I had the pleasure of having Curtis in 3rd and 4th grade. Mr. Majeski and Miss Eller also have been his teachers, and we feel like we build a real community at Bancroft, and we do as much as we can for our kids and the community. And a lot of things negatively have been said about the staff and their level of commitment. And I think the only thing that I would want someone to show me is show us a parent that says we don't care or don't give more than 100%, because I don't think you'll be able to find one.
My name is Jackie Cook. I am a exploring agri-science teacher at Kirk Middle School. This is my 14th year with Christina School District. I am the Vice President of the Christina Education Association. The Christina Education Association would like to issue a heartfelt thank you to the many legislators who have supported and advocated for us throughout the process, this Priority Schools process. Notably Representatives Paul Bombach and Kim Williams, who's here tonight, as well as Senator Brian Townsend. We would also like to, in a special way, express our deep appreciation for the supportive actions of Representative John Kowalko. Representative Kowalko has attended and spoken at many Christina School District Board and Priority School Planning meetings, and the information he has gathered through many venues has helped move the conversation forward. We look forward to a long partnership with Representative Kowalko as a special friend of education and his fine colleagues in the Delaware State Legislature. Thank you.
I'm Nelia Dolan, and I'm a founding member of the grassroots organization Delaware Parents and Teachers for Public Education. I have 4 children in Delaware public schools. We are a small but growing organization made up of parents and educators from across the state and are affiliated with Parents Across America and the Network for Public Education. I'm actually from Sussex County. We have Sussex County members, Kent County members, and Newcastle County members. We support democratically run public schools that accept and welcome all children, and we advocate for proven educational reforms such as small class sizes, extended days for low-income and at-risk students, summer enrichment for low-income and special needs students, and quality preschool for all children. We are here tonight to give our support to the teachers, administrators, and families of the DOE named priority schools. We encourage the DOE to reconsider its current agenda that punishes schools, teachers, and administrators for serving student populations that face the most challenges and threaten districts with shuttering neighborhood schools serving largely minority and impoverished students and high percentages of special needs students. We would like to urge Secretary Murphy to change the current discourse streaming from the DOE to our district schools and teachers away from punitive dogma to one of collaboration among all parties, administrators, teachers, students, families, and communities. I feel like on that point, that's a disconnect at the DOE, that people don't understand that our schools are anchors in our communities, and they are so important to the families, to the teachers. The teachers care about the neighborhoods and are a part of the neighborhoods, and I think that's something that has somehow gotten lost at that level of administration. Constant disruption in the education of these children is not what they need. They need consistency and dedicated professionals, which they have, who are committed to their schools, their families, and their neighborhoods. The current DOE agenda, which causes disruption for our most at-risk children, harms these students and their families, and they are those that should be afforded the most consideration by our elected officials and our Department of Education. Currently, the DOE struggles to oversee the schools that already fall under its supervision, and many of these management shortfalls have recently come to light, including matters involving specious admissions and attrition practices that were cited in the recent ACLU complaint against the DOE, and also that were brought to light at the HB 90 task force. There's lack of curriculum support, which is seen at the pending closure of Moyer Academy. And there's also been some serious financial mismanagement, which was exposed in a recent charter school third-party audit. Considering this, the DOE's contention that it will better serve priority school students by taking over the schools does not make any sense. Our organization recently held a meeting at one of the priority schools. I arrived early for a tour, and I was able to meet many teachers and paraprofessionals and observe children who, at 6 p.m. on a Friday evening, were playing in the gym, were participating in enrichment activities, and some were even learning how to code in the computer lab. When leaving the meeting, it was about 8 o'clock, and this was December 19th, so it was the Friday before Christmas. I ran into two teachers that were still in the building, and one of the teachers said to me, "Well, my day's not quite done yet." So my question to our state legislators is, will that teacher still have a job there come September? I would also like to take this opportunity to encourage our governor to use his last 2 years in office to battle the real problems that are plaguing our state and preventing our children's success, which is poverty and growing income inequality. I'd like to thank the Christina Education Association for giving our group voice at tonight's press conference. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the teachers and administrators in Delaware whose hard work, commitment, and dedication to our children and to their schools is appreciated by so many people, and I know you don't hear that enough. We started a petition to save to make the priority schools a real priority to the DOE. If anyone hasn't signed it, we ask that you do tonight. Eva's got them in the back of the room. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
We're about 5 minutes away from the start of the school board meeting tonight. The big topic of conversation, of course, will be the board discussing what to do with the MOU and plan that's been sent to the state and has come back to the board with feedback. So you're going to hear that discussion. We're not sure what the outcome of that will be, but that's where we're going to be headed here shortly. Thank everyone who's supported the educators in the buildings, the priority schools, and all of our schools in Christina. And we thank you all for coming out tonight. Appreciate it.